Working on those overhead player names a bit more, we're going to add teams to our game and hiding names of our opponents so that we won't see them through walls. The method I'm about to show you works by searching lists of names and seeing which team we belong to. For this, we'll make two lists in the game state, Team A and Team B. Both of them should be type of string with replicated option selected so that all clients can see the server modifying those variables. Now in the game mode, at onPostLogin, we are storing new player controllers in the players list, spawning characters and possessing them for clients to control them. After all that, we want to add this new player, actually his name, onto either of those Team A or Team B lists from the game state. I already have a game state variable which is being saved on begin play with casting to GSTag. So after spawning, we first bring those two Team A and Team B lists from the game state. Then we want to decide on which team to assign this new player to. The rule is the following: if the new player is an even-numbered player, he plays on Team A, otherwise on Team B. We add his name from his player controller's player state, and after that we also want to store his team in a blueprint for later. We will need a player state for that, which is a type of blueprint that holds information about the player throughout the match, even if the player dies. To create one, search for the player state when creating a new blueprint. I will name mine PSTag. In there, add a string variable called team, which will store values A or B, meaning the team we are on. Make sure it's set to replicated as well. Then go back to the game mode, and after adding names onto lists from the game state, cast to the new PSTag player state and set the team variable to A if the new player is even-numbered and B otherwise. Make sure to set the new player state in the game mode's defaults before you give it a try. Let's check if everything runs without any errors. As you can see, there's something going on. It says the game state GSTag had the none value when it was used right here. But we are setting the GSTag variable on begin play, so it should be done as soon as possible, right? In this case, onPostLogin fired before begin play, meaning that we have to cast before we use the game state. What's left is to hide all opponents' names. Open up WPlayerName widget and make a new visibility binding for the text. Here we have the player character and his name available, but we also need the game state, so go to the main graph, cast to the game state, and save it in a variable. We can use the game state's team list to find out which team this player belongs to. For that, I would prefer making a new function in the game state because we might use it for later. This function expects a player name and it will try to find it in Team A first. If the search was successful, it will give us something other than -1, which can be checked with a branch. Based on that, we return string A if the found index wasn't -1, or B if it was. Now we can use this to find out which team that player character variable is holding. The function has those white execution pins, but I want to call it without them. To do that, go back to the function, check peer, and those pins are no more. Now we need to compare the outputs to our team, which can be brought up through owning player that gives a player controller, getting player state, casting it to PSTag, and getting that team string variable. If teams are different, we set visibility of the name to hidden, otherwise to visible. Before we test it out, let's add one more player start, so 4 in total, where 2 of them are named with 0 and 2 for Team A, and the other 2 with 1 and 3 for Team B. There's one more problem, and that's the opponents' names, which appear for a moment at start. To fix this, make sure everything unconnected is now connected to return hidden. And just to make sure, hide the text by setting visibility to hidden here as well. And this is it. I hope you are able to do it as well, and before you go, make sure to check out my Discord server where you can share your games with us and we will play them and give you some useful feedback. See you next time!